see how much water damage there is, because this linoleum is like pooched. I'm just gonna stop it there because I don't know how far back we're gonna end up taking this wood. This wood here seems okay. That's gross. Ooh, there is another big black spot. Nope, that's, oh phew. That's lining right there. So it does look darker there and darker here. And that's by a screw hole. This is by a screw hole. And I think that is, like, there's so much moisture in here. So I decided to take a knife to this and bring it down to see what's going on underneath it, to see exactly what we need to replace here. And you can see just how pooched the whole flooring actually is. It's something coming in on top of that membrane, unless there's a hole in the membrane itself. But this is so much water that, look at that. Wow. Like the lighting's a little bit better now because it's not as late in the day. It's about noon right now. You can see the membrane's looking pretty good. There's still a lot to pull out. I think I've got to pull out this whole end. So I need to figure out how to pull this guy out, which means I'm going to have to detach these, and I will have to remove all the liquid from in the lines. Yeah, I'm going to take this bench out today too, I think, just to give me more room and give me a good kind of line here to cut against. I'm not going to have like two types of linoleum in here. I'm going to have I'm probably going to leave the linoleum on this side and then put some leveling compound just to bring it up to the right level. And this actually has just slight dips, but I worry that those slight dips are going to crack my tile because it's the tile that I have left over from my house is like a slate veneer. So I'm worried that over time I'm going to get crack lines along those, like those exact little indentations. Kind of makes me want to redo all of the tile. I might actually, depending on how easy it is to come out here where there is no water damage, I might actually see if I can pull this trim back and cut a line right up against here and do that all the way around, just so I don't have to flatten out all this tile. I'll do that all the way around to get all the linoleum out. I'm still debating what is going to be better in the long run, because like you can see there's little corners like this. Really don't mind all my dirt. That's just what happens when you're running in and out with your shoes on. It's just a camper rule, is we don't normally do that. Right there it'll be fine because I can take off that little lip, but here I don't know about getting it to butt up. I guess I can always get it as close as I can and then throw in a little bit of silicone just to keep the dirt from going in there, although that silicone's probably going to have to be replaced every year. So on day one, I was only working on the area below me, so I literally stuck it in up under the wires like this and just had it wedged so it would be on the right angle. That's probably really terrible, but that's where it was. But my husband's RAM mount just came in. This guy. This is actually for a GPS. He bought a mount for his motorbike. So this is the mount for our vehicle, and I think it's going to work perfectly just to position anywhere I want in here. The only thing is I don't think my phone's going to fit in there. Maybe. Whoop, whoop. Actually, it might. I might not even need that swath of tape that he's put on there for my convenience. Yay for a RAM mount. Okay, so it turns out the only place that doesn't have texture, hopefully you can see the texture of the ceiling here, is right there on the top of my door. So I've got the RAM mount there. I have it already set up to where I want it to be, so I won't show you the flexibility of it right now. And pop this in here. It actually fits, don't need the tape. And I think that's pretty good. Yay, that is pretty good. Alright, so just taking out this other banquette. I'm just going to undo the screws that hold on the top. Notice earlier in the video I have a video of me switching bits for this driver here. It's one of those screw ends that not quite out. One of the screw ends that have, you can either use the square tip or the star tip. You see this, whoop, right there, see? I wasn't using the square tip before. The square tip has a much better, like a really solid fit compared to the other one. So I had swapped out for this bit and it's working much better. It's my little accumulation of screws and barrettes and all the little doodads that I'm taking out of here. First question my husband asked is, are you going to remember where all of these go? Well, it's a husband question, right? I shouldn't say stuff like that. It's Father's Day today. Attention to detail. He has a very great attention to detail. It's definitely going to be a challenge to get all of this stuff back here, but pieces like this, you can definitely see what the matching screw pieces are going to be because those are going to be left on there. And other places too, I'm able to leave the screws actually on the piece that they belong to, and for the most part, come on, focus. For the most part, like if it's going through the floor and a piece of wood, it's going to be these long guys. If it's only going into the wall, it's going to be short guys. They all have the same bit end, but you can see there are a number of different kinds of screws in there, but you can figure them all out based on their purpose, so not so big of a deal. Just trying to save myself work. I don't need to be doing little Ziploc bags for every tiny little thing and attaching it to the... I'm all about making less work. Less work. I've been swapping back and forth between a few different tools here. For the most part, I've been using this one. I have this one, and I've even used this just to get a little more leverage. I use a bit. I put it through there, and then it works really well for being able to just get a little more torque on the tighter fits. Also using this guy, but which theoretically works really well, but you can see I can't find the correct bit to use it as a driver, I guess. So I have the quarter, and it's loose and pops out really easy. So works out really well for the, like, where you have to have this in an up and down position, so I can have like just the pressure of this holding it in. Sideways, it tends to pop out. So I complained to my husband, or I told him what I'm dealing with here, and he brought me this. I haven't tried it yet. We'll see how it goes. This allows you so that you can spin really well if it's an open screw, but also, like I was using that little bit to give you some torque off the end like that. And it looks like it'll fit. Let's see if I got a loose bit right there. Still loose, but we'll see if this contraption will help on these screws. Let's go for this one right here. Because those guys there, you can see I've got like maybe an inch clearance here, half-inch clearance here. Let's go. This. I could have also used a power. Oh look, here's Bob coming in. Come show them your potato. Bob just went down to the neighbor to grab some potatoes, and he's going to show you the potato in front of the dew finder here. A little higher. So we had terrible luck in our garden this year. We had to redo garden beds, and those are awesome, Bob. Yeah. Redo our garden beds, and because we have raised beds. I'll show you in another video maybe. Raised beds, and the sides were rotting out, so I went in and I was swapping out the boards and building new beds, downsizing our garden because we've had such terrible luck with grasshoppers in our open garden. We just started a greenhouse this year too, which is coming along beautifully, but for some reason our potatoes, which we bought from a reputable establishment, story time while I'm getting screws out, they all rotted in the ground except for one. Even the one in the greenhouse rotted in the ground. So I was thinking at first that it was just, well, I didn't check to see if the greenhouse ones rotted, but they're not up yet. They should have been up days ago. A week ago even. They're not up. So I don't know what's going on there. It's gotta be something in our soil mix. We did amend our soil a little bit with really nicely aged cow manure, really nicely aged chicken manure, but not going overzealously on that. We had added some charcoal over the winter. We also have quite sandy and clay-like soil. I don't think that, like, everything else is coming up except those potatoes. I don't know what happened. Even the side, like, you know, if you cut the potato to use like for 2 plantings, the side that we actually cured is fine, didn't rot. The whole entire rest of the potato rotted, and we had Yukon Gold and I think New Orleans, and they are just rotten in the ground except for that one potato. So we're lucky that we really like to eat our potatoes as new potatoes, so it doesn't matter that we're a couple weeks behind with potatoes. This is working great. I should have told him that when he was here. Got sidetracked by potatoes. Anyway, tangent. We have new potatoes because yesterday my husband was telling, I was running a babysitter's course with the library, and our neighbor came down and taught the babysitter course, and she is also kind of on a, she's more of a farm than a homestead, but kind of a homestead. Heard our plight about our awful potatoes, told us that there's been a few people that have had to plant 3 times just because our spring has been so wet. We've had a lot of flooding in the area, and she gave us seed potatoes. That's so awesome. She gave us 3 kinds of seed potatoes, so maybe I will do a garden vlog as well.